We don't know for certain that we will create a superintelligence, a machine which outstrips humans in all cognitive capabilities. But directly and indirectly, a lot of smart people are working on it, and they're spending vast amounts of money. We won't create a superintelligence if progress on AI suddenly stops, but there's no reason to believe that will happen. We won't create one if there's some kind of supernatural, spiritual aspect to human minds which can't be replicated in a machine. There's no evidence for this. We also won't do it if human brains have somehow arrived at the absolute pinnacle of possible intelligence, and that is a preposterous idea. So, the chances are we will create superintelligence. What we don't know is when and whether it will be good for us. When prognosticating about technology, timing is everything, and getting the timing right is almost impossible. But what's the point of a futurist who refuses to make predictions? Like everyone else who follows AI closely, my timelines have been compressed by the arrival of GPT-4 and its astonishing capabilities. I used to think, with a low degree of confidence, that superintelligence would arrive deep in the second half of this century. Now, I think it could be well before 2050. So, we should be thinking carefully, now, about whether superintelligence will be good for us. I think the following 4 scenarios, the 4 C's, capture the possible outcomes. The first C is cease. We stop developing advanced AIs, so the threat from superintelligence never materializes. We also miss out on the enormous potential upsides. I think this is impossible. We could perhaps have an effective moratorium covering North America, Europe and China. But Putin would not comply, nor would Kim Jong-un. Neither would every billionaire in the world or every mafia organization. The most likely result of an indefinite moratorium would be superintelligence brought into the world by bad actors. The second C is control. We figure out how to control an entity which is much smarter than us and getting smarter all the time. We constrain its behavior forever. There are very smart people working on this project and I wish them well, but it seems implausible to me. How could an ant control a human? The third C is catastrophe. Either deliberately or inadvertently, the superintelligence wipes us out. I won't descend into torture porn, but extinction isn't the worst possible outcome. Finally, the fourth C is consent. The superintelligence likes us and understands us better than we understand ourselves. It not only allows us to continue living our lives, it helps us to flourish. It helps us to cure aging, so the tragedy of death becomes optional, and children stop losing their parents and grandparents. It enables us to abolish war and poverty, so that every human lives a rich, fulfilling life. I know it sounds crazy, but with a benign superintelligence on our side, we could become like minor deities, living very long lives of harmony and joy. Reluctantly, I can't avoid the conclusion that cease and control are both impossible, which leaves catastrophe and consent. Some people think that catastrophe is more likely than consent. I disagree. Despite our many flaws, I think Homo sapiens is an interesting and worthwhile species. We wouldn't pose a threat to a superintelligence, so it might well agree. Consent seems to me entirely plausible. In fact, it might even be the most likely outcome.